Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the BB. Wow, we'll trim that out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the BB-Scho. I'm your host, Beebs, joined by my co-host, Chen. We are back for the 2024 NFL season. We're back from our off-season hiatus. Summer is over and football is here. All right, if you're new to the show, our preseason pod is usually one of our longest of the year. However, we're going to try and keep it a little bit shorter than normal. We're going to go through our division predictions, our playoff seed predictions, and hopefully our award predictions, and maybe even if we have time, our week one predictions. And whatever we don't get to, we'll get to next week. But we've got a whole offseason to cover, a whole training camp of rumors, trade rumors, depth chart drama, etc. to cover. And I'm going to throw it to you, Chen, to kick us off and start us out with what your biggest hot take, biggest takeaway, open-ended question, recap the offseason. What stuck out to you most?
Ooh, I would say what stuck out to me the most, man, because there's a lot, right? When we really just cover the grand scope of things. I know letting Russ cook week one has been a hot topic with the Fields battle. I think a lot of people, and it bugs me, right, when you see like Stephen A. and the other clickbait-esque content producers, if you will, the Steelers are going to be fine, right? When we're ripping on the play of quarterbacks in the preseason, that's how I know we've become too clickbaited as a society. The preseason is not for starters. It's not for finding out what your team A guys are going to look like. You're trying to fill out your roster. You're trying to figure out the undrafted players. But there's a reason we cut out the fourth game. Let's hold breaks on all this. Just play that Steelers. They've been rolling with Mason Rudolph. Duck Hodges comes to mind. Mitch Trubisky since Big Ben retired. That team is going to be elite. So I would say that's, in terms of my hot take, Steelers have the best regular season record in the AFC. I think that is,
in the
even
AFC?
if they switch the field in the AFC.
Oh my!
Due to the Ravens' loss and some things. I think the Browns.
We are on fire to start this show. What just happened? I asked for a hot take.
Gotta come out hot.
This dude comes out swinging. Steelers are gonna get the ones in the AFC. You're starting. I mean,
swinging for the guys.
Oh my gosh!
Am I wrong with my logic? Am I wrong with when we look at what Mike Tomlin has done with so much less? I mean, even Big Ben in the probably last few years they had him. They have not had good quarterback play. I'm not saying what Russ did with the Broncos was fantastic last year, but the Steelers are a better team than the Broncos do. And even just plugging in Russ, if he is mid, I see the team at 11-5 or 11-6, 12-5. I just think they play well, man. I think they do well in the division games. They win. We have to remember this is a team that went 14-0 at one point, just purely off, I would say, coaching that season.
Okay, so you
have your thoughts.
Yeah, okay. Let me bounce back a follow.
Yeah,
because you reminded me of that 11-0 start in 20 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do the Steelers in this mythical world you've created? The Steelers get the number one seed in the AFC. Do they win a playoff?
That I am not going to sign off on. All right, because that is my take. That is purely off their schedule, the regular season record. But in terms of what the Steelers have done in the postseason, I can't sign off on that, man. I'm sorry. It's as hot as you're going to get from me. I'm not going to pour around.
I mean, respect for reeling back, but yeah, that's rough. I mean, that's just a crazy take. I don't even know how to follow that up. My takes were so mediumly spiced. I should have gone first. It was I mean, that is, we're not topping it. We might as well just wrap up the show because that's gonna, oh my gosh, it's gonna send waves. All right, I can bounce back. A team, you went AFC. I'll stay in the AFC, the other side of the country. A team that I flat out think is just going to stink, man. And it pains me to say this because I've been a supporter of this team for the last few years. Been a supporter of their quarterback play. They've got a new head coach, and I just don't think the roster is there at all. I think the Chargers are going to suck, dude.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think the
okay.
Chargers are going to suck.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but a
Mhm.
1 year turnaround for Harbaugh. They've underachieved with their roster, and now their roster is extremely depleted. I mean, they've lost their superstar running back to age, which we noticed last year and maybe the year before. Keenan Allen, I think, is still a great player. He's gone. Mike Williams gone. I mean, we're talking about, oh, who's going to be Herbert's number one target. We're talking about Joshua Palmer, right? Quentin Johnson appears to be a bust. They're going to run the rock probably 65-75% of the time with Harbaugh. And I just don't think that when you have a guy like Justin Herbert, changing your philosophy to a 2019 Titans esque philosophy is going to go well. I could be wrong. They could air it out. I think they should air it out and just let Herbert cook. But I also just don't. The defense is aging. It is what it is. Oh, and by the way, they're in a division with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and that's a tough one. That's the Chiefs' point is something I can't really knock against. I will push back on though. Harbaugh's been a good coach, right? Like in the
Oh,
NFL,
that's
like
not
I'm
what I'm
not.
saying. I'm just
Yeah,
saying the 1 year, we're gonna
turnaround
take
is
this.
tough.
Yeah, like I think it's gonna take time to reshape this roster, and they're unknowingly or maybe knowingly entering into a soft rebuild here.
Yeah, and I could see that. I think I'm gonna, and I did just watch the video. Shout out to Dr. Pigskin, phenomenal YouTuber. It's got like
Great
4 shows.
YouTuber,
Yeah,
great
man.
YouTuber.
Great content. And he brought, and it's this maybe recency bias, but the Trevor Lawrence when he got Doug Peterson and just how that team worked. But I mean that yeah, they weren't lighting the world on fire per se. I think they went 9-8, but they did beat this Chargers team with Brandon Staley, the guy we've been saying is the problem. And I almost wonder if this guy made you lose faith in Justin Herbert, man. I mean, you've been an avid
That's
defender
not
of.
what I'm saying.
I
That's
think Justin Herbert
Herbert
alone.
is not the problem.
I just think him alone, and with Harbaugh, we got a Bruce Arians, Andrew Luck type situation where as long as Lad McConkey plays that kind of T.Y. Hilton role.
Exactly. Like this is where
He's
we're
a
at. We're
first round
talking about
pick, or
Lad
I think second
McConkey.
round.
I just oh
I
man.
know it's a long shot, but I think and I say long shot in the sense that they get like a true number one, but they got Joe Alta. I mean, I don't think this team is gonna be terrible. I don't think they're gonna be great. I just think they're gonna be competitive. The wins might be a little tough to get because you're in the AFC West with the Chiefs. That's probably, 2 losses right off the rip. But you
Look,
never know.
I'd love to be
You
wrong.
never know.
I'd love to see Herbert light him up this year.
I
I
mean, how
would.
many wins do you think they're going to get?
I think it's like a 5 to 7 win season.
Hmm.
Like I just they're gonna have a top 8 pick, and we're gonna be like,
Hmm.
they never compete for the playoffs. Like that's what I mean by suck. Like I think we're just entering
Interesting.
into a rebuild. And there's rumors coming out of the well, not camp, but the OTAs that Harbaugh wants to move on from Herbert fully, uh, reflesh
Wow.
everything out. It's just sus, man. I don't know what else to say. It's just a little sus.
Yeah.
All right, so we've covered 2 AFC teams. Let's follow it up. Do we have any NFC hot takes? And we'll jump into our division, breakdowns and predictions. But NFC, pick an NFC hot take. If you can't get there before I do, if you don't have
Yeah,
one,
you go first this
I can
time.
come up with one. I'll
I'll
go
let you.
first. I mean, there's a lot of NFC teams out there, but I'm gonna hit home on this one. A hot take out of the NFC is I think that 3 teams. Well, okay. Do I want to say that? Yeah, I mean we're saying hot takes. I think that there are 3 teams in the NFC North above 500.
Yeah, I can see that.
Three 9+ win teams in the NFC North. I don't want to say that all 3 of them make the playoffs because you never know how that breaks down. But I think the Lions are going to be probably better than they were last year. They're going to build. The
Mm.
Packers are going to be better than they were last year because they're going to continue their end of season momentum. And the Bears won 7 games with Justin Fields. And I think
Yeah.
they've upgraded that position as well as the rest of their offense. And there's
Oh,
other
yeah.
like there's just like, okay, we might like I'd be tempted. You know what? I will say it. 3 teams in the NFC North win 10 plus games. Like I'll make it that hot.
Mm.
I think the Vikings might not win a division game all year, and that's going to boost the other people's records. But
That would.
Is that might not even be that hot? I don't know. I don't know where the media's at on the NFC North.
I think it really depends on how you view the Bears. I think some people are going to push back and say like rookie Caleb Williams, a lot of change, but man, just from what I've seen in Hard Knocks and what I don't, again, you don't want to look too much in the preseason, but I will say I did hold out. You look for what rookies do, right? Like Caleb Williams, Drake May, just kind of how I like to see that their play speed in the NFL. I mean, when you look at like Zach Wilson, it was like immediately there was problems with just how he was seeing the field, dropping back. Caleb Williams, there's the way he moves is Mahomes-esque. I'm not saying this guy is Mahomes, but it's very similar. The body control, the off-platform throws. I mean, the one touchdown to Rome was ridiculous. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going to. Well, maybe I should jinx it and say the Bears got one just so they don't have one.
Here's the problem though, and here's the
yeah.
like. I'm watching Hard Knocks. We've got the announcer saying the Bears might have finally found their franchise QB. The future is bright.
Seems all too easy.
And I'm sitting too easy. No, that's not even my point. Too easy. They got a generational talent. Is what it is. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I swear to God, I saw this exact episode of Hard Knocks 3.5 years ago with Justin Fields. I swear I saw this. I don't even know if they were the Hard Knocks team, but I saw all this. And then before that, I saw it with Mitch Trubisky. It's not like the Bears are in this period of meager, Bears quarterback play. Shout out Tub Frog for like dropping an insane video in the last 6 months on the history of the Bears and their quarterback play. And the fact that we have Jim McMahon or Jay Cutler is the debate for the best modern QB because it's accepted that Sammy Baugh is the best quarterback in the history. Is it Sammy Baugh or is it somebody? It's somebody way back there.
Man, yeah, Sid Luckman.
That's who it was, Sid Luckman. Yeah, that's like the common like best quarterback in Bears history. We're talking about a franchise that's never had a 4,000 yard passer. Like the bar is low, okay?
It's insane. Yeah.
But what's been unique about the Bears in the last decade is they've gotten more aggressive in their push to find a franchise quarterback. Like before, it was like, okay, we're going to sign Jay Cutler in free agency. And they've always drafted. They've drafted so many quarterbacks in the first round, but they've gotten high profile guys the last few years, and that's what's been the difference. In the last decade, they've actually had top 5 picks and used them on quarterbacks. Before, if you go back, there's a couple out there, but it's like, oh, they have the 12th pick because their defense carried them to a mediocre record, and then they take Rex Gross, right? Or and then that bust. It's a horrible bust. So it is. There's a lot of first round picks that have gone through the Chicago Bears franchise to play the quarterback position. But the reality is Williams does feel different. Williams is like if they had gotten Peyton Manning, and they almost did get Peyton Manning. It's one of the better prospects ever, but it doesn't change the fact this just feels weirdly familiar. The only thing that sets it apart where I actually believe in it is this is the first time in my lifetime they've actually drafted a rookie quarterback and then said, oh, hey, we actually need to get this guy some help.
Yeah.
They followed it up with Roma Dunze. They signed Keenan Allen. They brought in DJ Moore 2 years ago. Then they signed DeAndre Swift. Still concerned about that O-line. Defense looked great on the back half of the year. We'll see how it goes. But that's the hot take. Wouldn't be shocked if they win double-digit games.
No, I definitely see that. It's going to be competitive. Really, NFC in general. I mean, things are very crowded in terms of competitiveness. It feels like each division's got 2 to 3 teams realistically that could, win each said division. If I'm going to stay in the NFC here, man, maybe I'm just cooking a little too hot in the kitchen today, man. Maybe it's this heat wave we've seen. And when we say stink, all right, I'm going to say this in 49ers terms because this is a spoiler to my take. I
Wow.
think the 49ers are going to stink, and Shanahan will be on, per se, the hot seat as
That is
they are backing themselves into a salary cap corner and might have to consider tearing some things down because you don't know what's going on with the Brandon Ayuk situation still as a team, and they are what, a week and a half away from the opener. I mean, that's a big part of your offense, whether he's a part of it or not. I think they're gonna have some early season hiccups. Their division is their division. It's never been an easy one. Well, there's times the NFC West has been an easy one, but recently it's been fairly competitive. I mean, Seahawks are always in the playoffs. Sean McVay and the Rams keeps them competitive. I even think the Cardinals are going to take a step up this year, just solely having Kyler Murray for a full season and off season with is it Shane Gannon?
yeah,
The
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Eagles guy, right? Or Shane Steichen, Jonathan Gannon. That's what I'm thinking of, Jonathan Gannon. But yeah, man, I really think that 49ers, it's inevitable. They didn't get better as a ball club. They're only going to get older. I just have this hunch that things aren't going to be as easy as it was for them last year. Their one really injury to Kittle, CMC, or Debo, all those guys have injury history.
I feel like you're saying this because of the 49ers franchise that you tried to do rebuild over the winter, and it was you talking about salary cap, just
There's
disaster.
foreshadowing there, 100%. Yeah, they have that theoretically back themselves through a wall. I mean, it's why Brandon Ayuk deal has not gotten done yet. So that's just, I know it's another spicy one, man, but
I
I
definitely
just,
I definitely agree about the salary cap being an issue, and you talk about teams that go all in and then miss. It's not a pretty ending. It's really,
no,
even for the Rams who went all in and hit. It wasn't a pretty end. Like, well, it was, but it wasn't a
right.
fun next 2 years. And now they finally, I think, rebuilt that roster up a little bit. But I do agree that the I don't know if they're gonna suck.
Okay, and
Um,
when I say suck, before you answer, let's clarify. I'm thinking like from 49ers standards. So we're saying 7, 8 wins,
so they missed the
maybe.
playoffs.
Yeah, they either miss the playoffs or they like sneak in as a 7 and get bounced,
So
right? Like
here's what
there's
I'll
this
here's what I'll say
fringe
too
playoff,
to
non-playoff team.
to piggyback on that. Like,
Mhm.
very Shanahan era Niners thing is like, oh, we were good last year. Now we're going to get destroyed by injuries this year. And they've had
Yeah,
2 good years in a row, 2 NFC championship appearances in a row. Could be due. It could be due for an injury. That's all I'll say. Could be due for some disaster.
TMC was on the Madden cover, right?
Oh, that makes
Trust me, I'm aware. He's in my dynasty league. It's going to be a rebuilding year.
it's gonna be a rebuild. Yeah, that's a valid point. Okay, okay, some good NFC hot takes there.
Oh
We
yeah.
touched on a couple of divisions. Let's get into division prediction, and I've got it pulled up. I finally got it pulled up. Had some computer issues today, but got everything figured out, sorted out now. For reference, last year, just for fun's sake, I have our division predictions and who was correct in front of us. Okay, so
Mm,
down the line, my predictions for winners of the NFC. Last year, I predicted the Vikings to win the North, the Saints to win the South, the Giants to win the East, and the Seahawks to win the West. 0
interesting.
for 4. 0 for
Oh, for four.
4 on division predictions. Okay. And I could go back 2 years for our division predictions. Historically, they're not easy to predict. It's so funny you see people putting together these parlays and whatnot of division predictions, and it's like they're not easy. Like, they are not easy.
Right.
On the contrary, you picked a different team than me in every NFC division in the last year. Every division has a different prediction. You got one correct. You said Packers, Falcons, Eagles, Niners. The
Wow.
Niners were the only division winner that you got correct. In the AFC, I went Bengals, Jaguars, Chiefs, Bills.
Mm.
2 for 4. 2 of 8 overall. 2 of 8, 25%. Chiefs and the Bills hit. Jaguars, that kind of sucked. They were ahead early and faded out very
Mm.
fast. I think the Texans stole it in week 17 or something, if I recall. Your predictions in the North or in the AFC last year were Steelers, Jaguars, Chiefs, Jets. You both got 2 correct on the year.
Okay.
So that brings us to 2023. And I'll give you the floor to kick us off. Actually, I don't even know if I need to give you the floor to kick us off here. With your NFC North prediction.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Packers, and that's definitely more confident in that take this time around than last. No, the Lions did get better. We got a good squad this year, though, man. I don't need to harp on it too much. I mean, we didn't even sign an undrafted free agent this year. We're a deep team. So, what's yours, though?
If you're
Curious.
new around here, we are both Packers fans. Okay, we talk about Packers a lot, but typically that's because they play a lot of primetime games, and we just end up talking about primetime games.
Sure.
But if you're new around here, you won't realize that anytime I ever, well, let me give a short synopsis of backstory. We started this podcast in 2022. It was Rogers last year with the team. And I and Christian were both under philosophy that we were going to pick the Packers no matter what. And that was the year that we lost to the Jets at home in like week 6 in a game where our offense didn't do anything. And I finally just said, screw it, I'm never picking them to win again. And then we almost made the playoffs. And then the following year, we made the playoffs and won a playoff. I have not picked the Packers since, and we have had much success. So that doesn't change today. And I'm actually going to reverse jinx this and pick the Bears to take down the NFC North. A very, very strategic play in BB-Scho lore. If you know what we're talking about here, I can see it.
There goes my
We're laying it down. We know what we're doing here. All right.
That's beautiful.
Right. And if we're wrong, we get a division winner right. I mean, it's a win-win situation. It's a great philosophy,
man.
And I've already talked about the Bears, so I don't really need to give a synopsis of why I believe they're going to win 10 games this year. Okay, NFC South.
NFC South. I'm going to award this one. I do really love the Buccaneers. For a reason, I just feel like they're going to take a step back. I don't remember a whole lot of the moves they've done, which is not. That's concerning. Falcons look legit to me, and I feel like even if Kirk isn't coming back to like 100%, Penix did get selected at 8 for a reason. If he's not ready to go, what it comes out of camp is that he's very pro ready, very good thrower for football, something that Desmond Ridder was not. I don't even think he's on a roster right now, maybe a practice squad. So just from that position upgrade alone, and they made some defensive upgrades, I think the Falcons are, I mean, say it every year, I feel like sneaky good, but with Arthur Smith out of there, Falcons are going to be sneaky good.
I'm all over that as well. I have Falcons written down. I'm all over Drake London. This is the first year I feel comfortable drafting Kyle Pitts. This is how Kirk works, man. He brings life to an offense. They're gonna get yards and score touchdowns. Win playoff games. Well, it remains to be seen. But they're gonna get yards, win games, and score touchdowns with Kirk at the helm. I'm all over the Falcons for every reason that you just said and I just said. All right, NFC East. I'll take the floor here because you've gone first twice in a row.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles bounce back here. I'm not super pumped about the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb hasn't practiced until like this week. Like concerning. Yeah. Their running back room, I believe, is Zeke, and they just signed Dalvin Cook. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but this is in 2017. This is 2024. Now, hurts my soul to say that and rip those guys because they were some dogs, man, back in the day. But concerned about the running back room, concerned about the ongoing cap situation with Lamb and other pieces. Defense will be good. I think they're going to probably get into the playoffs just off the defense alone. I think the Eagles bounce back. from where they were last year. I mean, they were 10-1 or whatever it was. I think that they actually complete the season this year.
Okay. No, I definitely am getting on board with that. I mean, they say it's a copycat league. This is going to be a copycat show for this divisional pick here. I just hate the Cowboys this year, if I'm being honest. The fact they made literally no improvements. Team just no backup plan for Tony Pollard's exit. CD, they always find themselves in the position where they have a Des Bryant, T.O., Michael Irvin, the diva receiver, man. It's just a Dallas Cowboy. Your number one receiver puts on that star logo and they kind of go a little nuts. I'm not saying CD Lamb's nuts. I'm very happy he got his money, but you look into history, I mean, it's only a matter of time. And just, yeah, man, I don't love them this year, and I don't love anybody else in that division. So whether Philly bounces back or not, I think it's inevitable they do. I'm kind of just curious about the Sirianni Hurts dynamic. I feel like there's a lot of weird stuff coming out last year. I feel
Yeah,
like
I mean, I'm
with
not.
Bolton back, it's going to be that.
Yeah, and let me say this too. Like, I'm not mega high on the Eagles. It's more or less like, okay, the Giants and Commanders aren't winning this division.
Right. Yeah.
I don't like the Cowboys, and I think the Eagles are going to be more or less the same, and I think they bounce back better. And we're talking about like a 12-win team. I know they had a horrible end to the year, but they still won 12 games or whatever it was. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I think they've had an off season to adjust. No Jason Kelsey on the front line anymore. But the pieces are still all there. And oh, by the way, they brought in Saquon Barkley. Like, it's that's going to help that running game, and running the football wins games. So
Very true. Very
that's
true.
my breakdown. NFC West. I've got an interesting take here, but you can go first.
Yeah. I mean, we all heard about my 49ers opinions. So for my divisional winner, it's going to be Seattle. I think they take a step up. This is a playoff team that's past 2 years been at 10-7. Finally got a new coach in there. I think JSN with DK, another year of Geno blending with that group, and Kenny Walker as well. I watch out for Seattle. I really think this is a team that is going to surprise a lot of people this year with how good they're going to be.
I think
12 wins, I'm
Seattle's.
thinking.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I
12
think
and 5.
I think Seattle's in the mix. They're definitely in the playoff hunt. I think LA takes this down and takes the West back.
Ooh, okay.
A little spicy. It's a mild take, honestly, but I this team that made when we turn on wild. I remember turning on Wild Card Weekend last year and seeing the Rams playing or no, the divisional, and the Rams are playing the Lions, and I'm like, how are the Rams in the divisional? They suck. Like, how are they here? And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of where this take is kind of born from, of just like, this team, they're good. They're so well coached. Stafford is a vet. Cup is healthy. Puka Nakua is a superstar.
Mm.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I think they're just going to find a way to win this division. I wanted to pick Seattle. I agreed with the Niners takes. I wanted to pick Seattle, but I kind of got scared of the rookie head coach. No Pete Carroll could change up the outlook. But I just, the Rams, man, they have the least amount of turnover and turmoil in the division. And I really think all four teams could win this division. I know that sounds crazy about the Cardinals, but I do think that they have a good thing going with their head coach, and Kyler is going to have a big year back. And they have Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, they've improved.
Yeah.
But the Rams just have been consistent, and it's like, this team's going to win 10 games, 10, 11 games, probably. I'm guessing that's enough to win the division. It's kind of my reasoning for this take.
Yeah, no, I definitely see it, man. I mean, McVay always finds a way.
Exactly. All right, that takes us to one of our most talked about divisions in football outside the NFC North, the AFC North. And you have given your brief thoughts on the Steelers to get the number one seed in the AFC. I am presuming that carries over to the division title.
This will remain my pick. Yep. Open 14 wins, man. I think.
that just warms my heart, man, to see you just getting set up to get burned by Russ again. It's just it's a great
It's only every year.
it's only every year, man. This guy picked the Broncos 2 years ago to just run away with the AFC West. Goes on for 20 minutes about how Mahomes' era in the West is over, all this, and the Broncos came out and sucked so bad. And then finally, it took him a year and a half. He finally says, "I'm done with Russ. I'm done with it." And he goes like 5-1 down the stretch and gets cut by the Broncos the second that he disowns him. And now he's back for more. Oh man, the more years we do this, the better this gets, man. Because the backstory is just unbeatable with who people with who gets burned by whom.
Can't beat the war, man.
Reference, another hidden reference. I saw Davis Mills out there the other day in a preseason game. That's all. I'll just leave it at that. Oh my gosh. All right. If you've watched the show, this won't be a surprise to you, Chen. I'm taking Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They're healthy. They've got everybody back. They had a lost year last year. A lost year. They've got Higgins on his 1-year deal. They're really just saying, okay, we're let's try and run this back, man. Like one more time before the cap just bursts this thing into a million different pieces across the league. No Joe Mixon this time around. I think Chase Brown's actually going to be decent, but I don't know if Mixon was that special last year. I mean, he was 29. He was above average, but nothing that I don't think is irreplaceable.
Yeah, I love Zach Moss.
Yeah, Zach Moss too. I forgot about him. I've been so fantasy focused on Chase Brown breaking out later in the year. I forgot. AFC South. I'm really not even. I'm taking Houston. I mean, I'm not really hesitating.
It's Texans for me.
Yeah, I mean Jacksonville. I could see it happening, but it'd be dumb. All right, I'm going to come to my senses here. I'm taking the Chiefs to win the AFC West for the 19,000th year in a row. Do we have any debate? The AFC West, by the way, is at its weakest point since we started this podcast outside of Kansas City. Every year there's been a conversation for the Chargers. There was a conversation for the Broncos preseason. The Raiders got Devontae Adams, dude. They could be good. And it's now this might be the year the Chiefs don't do it because there's who's going to beat them and somebody's going to find them.
Yeah, they got 6-0 in that division written all over them. Did we want to transition to the East?
Yeah, we can transition
because I definitely piggybacking off somebody I think is going to come over from the West in the trade deadline. I think Devontae is going to end up with the Jets, and I think just the roster they have in place right now, people always like to put Robert Saleh on the hot seat, but he's gotten it done with like Zach Wilson, who literally is a third-string quarterback on the Broncos right now. Go look at that quarterback room, not great. They're by default, if they're just healthy, are going to be a fantastic team. I mean, that's contending with the Steelers being number one in my mind.
Wow, we are so far off right now. You love to see it. I think
Bills and Patriots are out for me.
Bills and Patriots are out for you?
Yes, the Bills have no receivers, and they just got worse. Really, man, they made no additions, and Patriots are just not what they. I mean, they're Patriots.
All right, here's what I'm going to say. Any team, much like the NBA in the NFL, any team, even more so in the NFL, actually, in my opinion, any team, and this contradicts what I just said about Justin, but any team that has a perennial MVP candidate playing the quarterback position is in the mix to win their division, hands down. To rule out the Bills when they are
Josh not perennial MVP.
Perennial MVP. He's the second best quarterback in the league. Over the last 5 years?
No.
Over the last 5 years, who's been a better quarterback?
I would much rather have Joe Burrow on my team. I would much rather have Lamar Jackson on my team. We're talking about a guy who's not even gotten to a Super Bowl. Like, what are we doing?
You just,
No,
I
no.
mean,
I
you're so
didn't
lucky
look the
Joe Burrow made it
NFC
to.
way.
You're so lucky Joe Burrow made it to the Super Bowl because I was about to fire back with Lamar.
Yeah, but Lamar's got to a conference championship and just consistently usually goes deeper than Josh Allen. And when
Bills
I
have
look
won
at
a
the
playoff
Ravens,
game. The Bills have won a playoff game like every year for the last 4 years.
if you want to die on the Bills hill, I'll let this tape crash and burn by week 5.
You can let
I
it
will
crash and burn.
gladly.
I'm taking
Yeah.
the Bills to win the division.
Okay.
Like I'm
That's
taking the
fine.
Bills to win the division. Now, I think that this was a flaming hot take last year, and then Rodgers comes out and tears his Achilles in 3 plays. We've all seen the memes and all
Yeah.
this. I do think the Jets are flying under the radar this year somehow after being the number 1 team on the radar last year for, media hype.
Right.
I think the Jets are going to be obviously better than they were last year. I just think the Bills, man. It's funny too because Dolphins are just forgotten about in this conversation for some reason, and
They're good.
they're gonna start 9-1 and finish
10-7,
9, 10 and 7,
11-6.
10
Yeah.
and 7 once it gets cold out. But I just the Bills. This sounds really weird, and I understand this could get clipped. It sounds stupid in about 8 months, but
But
the the departure of Diggs to me is a win for the Bills. I feel like the last year, especially, and even going back a little farther, but definitely last year, he caused more problems than he solved. There was drama every week with him. I think Keon Coleman is gonna be a big star. I think Dalton Kincaid is gonna get the ball a lot. But mainly my reason for the Bills is they have a lot of carryover from last year. Yes, defense is a little bit older, obviously, yes. But the reason the Bills got hot last year down the stretch, and I had the crazy prediction of them making the playoffs when their season they lost that game to the Broncos because they had 12 men on the field, and I was like they're going to run the table. I remember going through the schedule, and I literally should have ran a parlay of Bills games because I hit them on the head and said this will be their finishing record, and they're going to go to the playoffs and win a playoff game, and they did. But the reason they did that actually wasn't Josh Allen; it was the run game. They got a new OC, and they started running the ball down the throats of everybody they played, which freed up Josh Allen for the play action bombs, which, the dude's got a cannon. The run game and the solid defense, I think, is what's going to take them over the top here in this division race. To write them off of potentially winning the division to me is crazy. I'm not as confident as I have been in them winning this division in the last 2 times I predicted them, but I've also never missed, so I can't really I've picked them 2 years in a row, and they've won it 2 years.
that's fair. No, and there's consistency there. This division, if healthy, is deeper for them, and they just got a lot worse in my mind. I think Matt Milano out all years. I mean, that's the heart of that defense. That's a huge loss. I think if they're in the 20s defensively, that's just not going to be a good playoff team or a regular season team. We talked about what they were last year. I mean, they did go on that run, but barring they didn't pull out a couple of those close games, I think we'd be having a different conversation right now. So I think it's be very interesting, man. I will say this though, yeah, Josh Allen is definitely a guy that you can't hitch your wagon to, right? Like that's something that you can engine your offense through that and probably get 6 or 7 wins off his impact alone. So maybe ruling him out is a bit extreme. I just think the path is tough. I just think it's very, very tough for them.
Did you know? Here's the stat for you. Did you know the Bills have not lost a regular season game by more than 6 points since November of 2021?
That is quite sad. That feels almost unreal. I don't know if
that's an unreal stat, man, but it's true. It's crazy to think of. I mean, 6 points is not it's not even 7, right? Like that's less than a touchdown and an extra point. It's a crazy stat.
That's real.
It's a crazy stat.
I can think of off in my brain the times they've lost by more than 6.
Did Twitter lie to me then?
I think that needs to be community noted. Unless it's like an average of 6 points.
Community noted.
There's no way for the past 3 seasons that every game has been a tight game. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's let's review it. We'll review it next
Stat
week.
news.
I found my source, but
Yeah,
I'll
there's
just
some
stat
homework.
news that up. All right, we've got our 4 division winners now per conference. Where are we at? Last year we seeded out the playoffs. I don't really know if we need to do that again. I think if
That
we
could be a mid-season thing where we kind of like, because we got our division winners by
we got our
mid-season, I feel like we
yeah
can pull some wild card teams because we kind of just, I feel like spit every team we think is a potential playoff contender and well, what aren't like the Bills.
yeah.
So
Let's do this. Let's just we don't have to spend a ton of time on it. We don't have to seed it out. But who's your 3 wild card teams in the UFC? You've got Steelers, Texans, Chiefs, and Jets as your winners. Who's your wild card? Who's in the wild card spots for you?
definitely Bengals and Ravens get there. I feel like the Browns are just gonna be out, but they're still gonna be good. And I'm gonna say the Jags get 7.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna put the Jets in my AFC playoffs. Who am I missing? Nobody from the West. Ravens definitely get there. Um, anybody from the South sneaking? The Colts sneak in again? Does that happen? I'll
They're
probably go.
tough. They're young.
I'll go with the Dolphins. Yeah, nothing flaming hot there. How about the NFC?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I have to throw in Detroit just by process of elimination. If they're not getting the division, they're definitely going to get a wild card spot. I'll definitely throw the Rams in there as well. They always find a way. And shoot, give me the Bears, man. I think at 7, like you put it, 7 wins with Fields last year. They'll find a way.
All right, so the Lions are definitely in mine. I have the Bears obviously as my North winner. And then I'm probably gonna go Niners to sneak into the playoffs, and then Cowboys, Packers out.
Ooh, forgot about the Cowboys, man. I totally forgot about the Cowboys. That's probably going to be an out, though.
That wouldn't shock me if they're out. It really.
You know, they're only a team over the past 3 seasons that has like 12 wins. That was like 12 wins or more. No other team. I was like, that's such a Cowboy stat. They get hope all year,
and
then
they
get to
haven't,
the
and they
playoffs
haven't won a playoff.
Bird. Yeah,
They haven't won.
that is cinema.
It's cinema. All right, let's cook this up. Have you prepped and your end of season awards, MVP, etc., or no?
Relatively.
Okay.
I got some ideas.
And we don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but we do it every year, so it's tradition.
Definitely.
In reference to last year, I don't think a single one of us got anything right in any position. DeMar Hamlin did win Comeback Player of the Year, I believe. That did. But I had Doug Peterson as Coach of the Year, Josh Allen's MVP. Did Mahomes win MVP? No, Lamar did.
Oh,
You had Arthur Smith as your Coach of the Year. Nick Chubb was my Offensive Player of the Year. Aaron Jones was yours. Myles Garrett won DPOY, didn't he? I think he did.
Yeah, that might have been the DPO.
I hit DPOY, and then we both missed on everything else. So that takes us to this year. Nobody's ever hit on an MVP bet. Just putting that out there. But who's your guy?
Yeah, I mean, it has pretty much become a quarterback award. So we're gonna go with Jordan Love, man. If he's gonna be the top guy in the NFC, the Steelers are the top team. I mean, they're probably gonna have a split QB thing going at some point in my projections. So Jordan Love for MVP. Let's book it.
I can't believe I'm gonna do this again. This feels like betting on the NBA, where it's like, Embiid's due to win one of these years, right? Let's just keep picking them. I'm gonna take Josh Allen, man. I can't believe Am I really gonna take Josh Allen again? Am I really gonna do this? Yeah.
Hey, man.
It's a safe pick that's not Patrick Mahomes. That's the bottom line. I mean, hey, let's run the scenario here. Okay, another guy. All right. You know what? We're currently undecided. I'm going to talk myself through this. Okay, Bills have a good year. They have less help on offense. Josh Allen wins MVP because he throws less interceptions. They run the ball more. His numbers look better, and
Very
they have
fair.
less receiving. Or Bengals bounce back, win 14 games. Joe Burrow wins the MVP. Seems like an option here. That I just talked myself into. So I'm going to take Joe Burrow. That seems better. Comeback player of the year, I will also be selecting Joe Burrow.
I'm gonna go Raj.
That's another,
He was out longer.
Yeah,
But he pretty much missed the entire season.
missed the whole year. Coach of the year.
Tomlin. Give him his flowers, baby. Give him his flowers.
Gosh, this is some mega trolling right here. I'm gonna go with Matt Eberflus.
The narrative's there. Dan Campbell can get it. Hey, Hard Knocks. You never know, man.
That is hilarious. Did D'Amico Ryans win it last year?
He did get coach of the year. I feel like he did. We'll have to fact check that.
We will have to fact check that. Okay, offensive player of the year. I'm gonna be conservative here and take Tyreek Hill. I think he finally actually makes a run at 2,000 yards. I'm not saying he's gonna get there, but he gets through. He gets like 1950 or something. Like he gets to 19.
I'm gonna say Josh Jacob. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna not gonna go complete Packers here. I'm actually gonna go with CD Lamb due to a lack of options. They are going to have to air it out, and if they're gonna be down in games, we gotta think CD Lamb is putting up mega numbers on very good Cowboys teams, 12, 13 wins. So if they're playing from behind, it's only a given he's gonna get some garbage time numbers, and Dak's good at that, man. Empty stats, Dak can get you those. All right. So not really too concerned with that pick.
That is a pretty good pick.
Tyreek. So if I'm not getting him, I'm taking CD.
Yeah. Defensive player of the year.
That is going to be an interesting one for me. A couple guys come to mind. But if the Steelers are going to be as good as I need them to be for my prediction's sake, we're going to go with TJ Watt.
So I took Myles Garrett last year and I hit on it. I'm actually going to piggyback off of your take regarding CD Lamb. I'm going to circle back to Micah Parsons here. They're going to need him. That's really that's their route to success. Is this guy puts up 20 sacks, like
some running back snaps. I heard he was getting some running back snaps. Maybe the JJ Watt effect.
JJ Watt path.
Yeah. There you go.
Biggest robbery I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, that was
MVP. They had scored 5 touchdowns. Like it's what are we?
Come on. Yeah.
What are we doing?
You didn't get it then. Oh.
Okay. Defensive or offensive rookie of the year. Sorry. It's for Kitty already. I did not think very long.
Yeah, right. Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I
usually a quarterback award.
Yeah. Defensive rookie of the year. There's really not anything crazy this year. And we always bet on this or pick it, and nobody's ever even close. Like
was Brian Branch close? I feel like that was like the one I threw out there last year.
I think you did pick Brian Branch last year. And I picked Jalen Carter, and I think Brian Branch got second.
And Jalen Carter won it.
I think Jake actually ended up picking. Jalen Carter won? I thought Will Anderson did.
I mean, it was Will Anderson. Oh, yeah. Yeah, from Texans. Okay.
So I'm just going to go with the odds-on favorite here, and I'm going to take Dallas Turner. Like, there were the first year we did this, I spent so much time thinking about who I was going to pick for defensive rookie of the year, and it was just a complete waste. It's a crapshoot, honestly.
Yeah, give me Cooper DeJean, man.
That was
I love going on these guys that if they get a pick 6, they're in the conversation, and that's exactly what Brian Branch did week 1, and I think it really helped him in the conversation. So that Cooper DeJean off of pick 6
I do remember the week 1 recap pod. You were just running straight. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Brian Branch picks off Mahomes to upset them in Arrowhead in Week 1. Let's go.
Yeah, the narrative was there.
You were pushing the. You made the narrative. You were the media right there.
Fake news. Fake news.
Okay. We have one more season-long prediction to make.
Okay.
Who is in and who is winning your Super Bowl?
Packers, Texans for the people. Packers 38, Texans 35.
Well, obviously, I named my teams in the playoffs. Packers are in, so I can't pick.
Fair enough. Got to stick with consistency here too.
My Super Bowl. Last year I came in with the hot take. I had the Giants going to the Super Bowl. It was. Let's just recap my Super Bowl predictions from the last few years. Okay.
Yeah.
Last year, I selected. Now, here's a stat for you. In 2 years we've done this. I picked 4 teams to go to the Super Bowl. Not one has made the playoffs.
That's
last
sad.
year. My Super Bowl was Giants.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Bengals didn't get it.
The year before, I'm trying to recall who I.
It was Packers Colts, man. I remember.
It was
Matty Ice.
Packers Colts.
There was some hype with Matty Ice.
It was Packers Colts. 0 for 4 on Super Bowl teams. So now we're gonna flip the narrative, man. Representing the AFC, I will be selecting the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nice. Yeah.
We are changing the strat up this year. We are riding the Chiefs to 3.
Air quotes. The listeners, you have to understand there was air quotes to the 3 beats. You have to understand what we're doing here. Who's the NFC?
In the NFC, honestly, I don't have anybody to fade super hard.
Just run a Super Bowl rematch. How about that? That's not even a hot take when you look at Vegas right now.
The 49ers, really? I mean, do I really want to fade the Niners? They did not. Yeah, I hate the 49ers.
We hate the Niners.
Hold on.
That are the Cowboys.
Nah, man, the Cowboys can get the playoffs.
I
want the Cowboys to make the playoffs. That's a win for us when we see it.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think you just talked me. I was going to go Bears, but we'll go 49ers. 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl rematch, 3rd time in 6 years.
Yes,
Book
sir.
it, baby. Book it. We have
who you got winning?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Double
fade.
Right.
That I'm very pleased with that choice. We are no longer predicting to win. Although Vegas would say otherwise.
This is true.
Oh my gosh. All right, that brings us to week 1. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left. And to recap, sorry, I'm trying to pull up the schedule. Computer was typing wrong. NFL week 1 slate. Now, to recap, the last 2 years, we've predicted every single game that's been played. We've played 2022, 2023. We predicted every single game. In 2022, we were 1 selection apart. We came down to the Super Bowl on who would win. I was 169 and 115 at the end of the year. I had the Eagles in the Super Bowl. You picked the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and went 170 and 114. Last year, I was 165 and 112. You were 156 and 121. We actually were worse in 2023, which felt weird because it felt like we were doing better.
Yeah.
And we didn't get there. So to kick us off for our week 1 predictions, let me get the schedule pulled up. Okay. Let me do this so I can do this a little quicker here. We have opening day, Ravens at the Chiefs. Who you got?
In Arrowhead, Chiefs seems favorable, but I feel like it's whatever reason they've been losing when they open up. I mean, they win the Super Bowl and then they lose on opening night, so I'm gonna take the Ravens.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs at Arrowhead here. That just seems like free money. That's. I mean,
Yeah,
if you've watched this show before,
probably
whenever
bet against
Christian,
them.
yeah, whenever Christian bets against a home team, although I think I took down the line, I took the Lions last year. In
Oh
this
yeah, I think you
opener,
probably did. Yeah,
and I was running victory laps. Okay, that takes us to there's a game on Friday. Are we?
yeah, Packers in Brazil.
That's a little frustrating because I won't even be able to watch. Um,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's
Packers in Brazil against the Eagles. I will be taking the Philadelphia Eagles.
I got Packers. We know how this
Yeah,
works.
not a lot of hot takes. Okay, follow that up with Panthers going into Carolina, divisional game in Week 1.
Did you say Panthers going into Carolina?
New Orleans. Sorry.
I was like, do I take the Panthers or the Carolinas?
Yeah,
Um,
I misspoke. Sorry.
oh, you're good. You're good. I'll take Panthers. They get a little fresh life here, some false optimism.
I
Not
hate
my.
to be 3 for 3 on different picks, but
That's what makes the show, man. That's
to
what makes
win
the show
much
great.
to win much this year. All right, we got Vikings going into the Giants on Week 1.
Vikings going in. That's gotta be a kind of a crapshoot, but I'm gonna take the Vikings. A lot of road teams for me this week.
I will also be taking another home team this week
I don't know.
because Darnold to go in there and win.
I like
I
Darnold
don't
over
know
Danny
about
Dimes.
Danny Dimes comeback season, bro. You know, don't be shocked when they find a way
Okay.
to troll us all into another playoff win. I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying, like, I just wouldn't be shocked. Like, this is the
Nah,
guy that
man.
won a divisional playoff round. The game.
Let's talk about the Kyle Pitts trap. This is the real trap right here. I feel bad for just Giants fans, man. Oh, jeez.
All right, we follow that up. Patriots going into Cincinnati. I'm taking Cincy.
Yeah, I'm not taking. They named Jacoby Brissett starter for New England,
Hey,
so
man, let me just be that guy though.
he's good.
We're talking about the New England Patriots without Belichick, sure.
Mm.
But we're talking about Week 1, Week 2 Cincinnati Bengals right now. Like, am I really gonna pick them to win a game? Like,
True, and with the whole Jamar Chase thing, I could see it going the other way, but actually,
I'm riding with my
I'll go
pick.
Bengals. Yeah,
I'm riding with
yeah.
my pick, but I just want it on the record that I
Let
hesitated.
it be known.
I hesitated. All right, Steelers go to the Falcons. This is a tough one for you. You're high on both these teams in a week 1
Man,
matchup.
yeah, I'll say they lose week 1 and then they get rolling. I'll take the Falcons here.
Oh, you're killing me, man. I didn't even hesitate with the Falcons. Texans in Indy in week 1.
Love Anthony Richardson to death, but I got the Texans. That's a really good team.
I have to concur. Texans, I see no reason to pick against them until they show me otherwise. That follows up with Arizona going into Buffalo. I'm rolling with Buffalo here.
Me as well. Yeah, I'll take the Bills.
Then we go to the Titans going to Chicago.
Bears should get that done at home.
Who's even is Will Levis their starter?
Yeah, that team is kind of a joke right now. Yeah, I mean, Tony Pollard, it's just a hodgepodge group.
I'm gonna take upset of the week. I'm taking the Titans.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
I rookie quarterback, first game, hard knocks, media attention. I don't know. And it's just a feeling, you know. All right, Jaguars then go to the Dolphins.
Dolphins, because it's early season. That's their forte.
Um, see, I this is a I don't know on this one. The Jaguars, I'm not like low on them this year.
No,
Like, you
yeah,
know
it's
what I'm
gonna be a
saying?
track meet. They got Christian Kirk back.
I'll
It's gonna
roll. I'll roll with the Dolphins because, like I said, early season Dolphins are unbeatable. But I don't hate the Jags. I want it to come off like I think they're going to be horrible.
nice.
Okay, that takes us to Denver or no, the Cowboys. No, sorry, I misread. Denver goes to Seattle.
Hmm. Denver going into Seattle. That's not really much of a question for me. Do you have any
No, I'm taking Seattle.
pushback? Bo Nix in Seattle is gonna be tough.
Dang, yeah, first start ever. It's
That
only
is
up
awful.
from that. It's only up from there, bro.
Yeah.
It only gets easier.
Yeah.
Raiders Chargers divisional matchup in week 1.
Chargers. Go Chargers. I love Minshew though.
I'm taking Minshew Mania here. I have.
So
I mean, that's our guy, dude. I
mhm.
can't fade Minshew Mania in his first start as a franchise quarterback.
It's franchise.
Cowboys go into Cleveland.
Cleveland.
I'm taking Weedham boys.
Yeah, I don't think it's close either.
What, you're taking Cleveland?
Oh yeah, I think
Okay,
they.
Weedham boys is the Cowboys.
I think the dogs get let out. I think. Oh, you said you're taking the Cowboys.
Yes, I'm taking the Cowboys.
All right, man. Yeah, be my guest.
Dude, Cowboys, we've both been merching off the Cowboys in the regular season for 2 years in a row.
We have. I think this is where things start to taper off. I think no run game and Myles Garrett starts teeing up, but we'll see what happens.
All right, Commanders go to Tampa Bay. Jaden Daniels first start.
Yeah, first start against Todd Bowles is gonna be tough. He likes to blitz a lot, so I'm gonna take Tampa.
Yes, sir. We're on the same page there. Tampa at home, coming off of a playoff win last year.
Baker on a fresh deal. Yeah.
All right, wow. Sunday night, week 1. I haven't even looked at the slate yet. Rams going to Detroit. Rematch of the divisional round. Stafford going back to Detroit. This is some cinema right here.
Cinema. Where do you sit on this?
I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I figured you would. So I'll take Detroit. This is going to be what, as we like to say, a barn burner, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see any way this game is not close.
I didn't even know that was their schedule. And
that's awesome.
Oops, sorry. The Rams have been sitting off of a playoff loss to Stafford's old team all offseason.
Yeah.
And they got scheduled to go back on Sunday Night Football and play that team again. You talk about chalkboard material, man. And I don't think the Lions are really even like thinking about them. I'm sure they are. It's their first game of the year, but you get my point. Like,
right? Yeah, they got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, that's. I'm going Lions coming too high of expectations. Like, okay, we're one half away from the Super Bowl. Like, let's run it back. And all of a sudden they find themselves 0-1 with a home loss. Like, gut check time.
Right.
Monday Night Football. Jets at San Francisco.
Aaron does not play well in the Bay, but given everything I've just said, I'm going to take the Jets.
I ain't taking Aaron Rodgers to beat the Niners ever in my life. I've seen that too many times.
We have seen that.
In person, I've seen that movie, man. In person, live with my own eyes.
That is,
that's
never again.
Never again am I picking Rodgers to beat the Niners, especially on the road in week 1 in prime time. Come on.
Oh.
Has he even played in the preseason?
No.
Dude, you know
not for years.
You know how rusty he's going to be? He didn't play at all last year.
No, week 1 Rodgers is usually
we're
awful.
Talking about 38-3 against the Saints, 5 interceptions or whatever, three picks. Yeah. Isn't the stat he threw 3 picks in week 1 and threw 2 the rest of the year?
Something along those lines, yeah. It was like
it's just
freaky,
ludicrous stuff. But that wraps up our predictions for our 2024 preseason pod. Let's close out. Let's do another hot take each. What have you saved? Your hottest take on the off season, etc. for this year. And if you don't have one off the top of your head, I can go first.
Yeah, I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. Now, I know I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, but again, that was more of a troll thing here. Um, I think that the Chiefs are not going to win a playoff game this year.
Hmm. That's I could see that. I could see that.
It's-
That's definitely a hot take for sure. We're fueling the fire now. Um, I'll close it out that Aaron Rodgers is his last, well, not his last year because I could see him going far, but I think he retires after the season. I think they have a great year. I think they have a heartbreaking loss in the conference championship again. He needs to go in the darkness retreat for an entire year, and then he comes back and picks his team to try and get another one. That's a
so
little
he's
far.
not going. So he's not going to retire.
Well, not officially like for good, but he's going to do the Brady Favre thing where he retires for the first time.
Oh, okay.
I'll make that prediction.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, Roger staying in the Jets is an interesting like conversation.
21 year in the Big Apple. He's going to get so fed up with it. He's going to need to go to like a darkness retreat for a month, man. I'm telling you. Like he gets fed up with his receivers. He's just going to take one look at the media and it's going to take, all right, I need to hear off football.
Yeah, this dude couldn't take the media in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Talking about the big green apple now? No. Yeah. That's my take. Maybe it's not even that hot now that I explained it.
I don't think
happened, but
I don't think it's that hot. I could piggyback off that. I think Andy Reid could retire at the end as well.
Andy Reid riding off in the sunset. I could see that, yeah.
If they win, okay, here's what I'll say. If
they three-peat,
he's down. You cannot retire after winning 3 in a row. You have to go for 4. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
you
have to go for 4. However, if they lose, I think he's like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah. Matt Nagy taking the reins. I'll see if I remember.
Gosh, don't even get me. That just scared me. Before we and I don't even know, last year we did the segment we called it buy, sell, hold. We would buy things, buy stock in certain players, predictions, etc. I've got the list in front of us of some of our takes that I'd like to remind the crowd of to close out the show that were correct or wrong. It appears you were correct that Kyler Murray would remain in Arizona, and they did not draft a first-round quarterback. You predicted that on October 28th in 2023.
Given that's when around the Call of Duty dropped, pretty good take.
Pretty good take. CeeDee Lamb will solidify himself as a bona fide top 5 wide receiver. Another win for you. Look at that.
Okay.
However, still riding on this. Predicted on December 12th that Justin Fields will finish the top 10 quarterback this year. Does not have to be a Chicago Bear for this to be true. That was a special note that you added.
This year?
Like this coming year. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe with the 14-3. Okay.
You also predicted that Quentin Johnson will have 1,200 receiving yards this year.
All right. That one might. Yeah, I'll think about that one this week.
You also predicted Nick Bosa will have 24 sacks this year.
Spicy.
You also predicted that Nick Sirianni will have a 10-year tenure in Philadelphia.
10-year. Yeah, after one season. I forget it's Philly's market. So even though they were respectable as a team last year.
Wow.
Hot, man.
Here's a good one. October 9th of last year, Gardner Minshew will be a week 1 starter for a team in 2024.
Oh, that's cash, man.
That is cash money. Cash money. All right, now let's flip over to this stuff. Wow, this is interesting. Dak will not be re-signed by the Cowboys after this season. I predicted.
Was that near you?
That was me last October.
That is becoming alarmingly true.
CJ Stroud on October 5th. That's phenomenal. Josh McDaniel will never be a head coach again.
That one's probably gonna be true. Jeez.
Lions will win a playoff game this year. Okay. Belichick coaching somewhere else. That's a loss. Jordan Love will be an MVP.
Yeah, I see that this year.
Ravens to go to the AFC Championship
Mm-hmm.
in like week 16. Oh gosh, I forgot I said this. we should have just exposed takes hour where we just wrote, we start individually tracking each other what we think could be wrong, and then we bring it to the table and we're like, hey, on this date you said that hey Caleb, on December 12th last year you said that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce will never win another Super Bowl together.
Oof. Talking about the door getting shut. What was the Sam Howell one at? I remember that one being Davis Millsy.
I bought stock in Sam Howell on September 25th, priced at a discount. Yeah, that's probably a loss at this point, which kind of sucks because I really don't think he was that bad.
I don't either.
That's the part that's like frustrating. Like he was not that bad.
He's gonna be a good backup somewhere.
Yeah, and he gets 1 year as a starter. Like that,
as a
I always freaking say if Peyton Manning got drafted today, he would have been cut after his rookie year. And it's just the way quarterbacks. We've had that conversation too many times, but it's Bengals to win the AFC North. Josh McDaniel. Andy Reid to retire within 10 games of Belichick's wins. Wins record. But all right, we'll probably revamp this segment a little bit so it's a little bit better. You do have Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft both over 600 yards this year.
Could see one of those for sure. Both might be a stretch, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
We might revamp this, make it more of an exposed takes segment sort of style to it. But as always, thanks for listening. We're excited to be back. We'll be back with our Monday episodes, week recaps, and previews. Starting next week, right after week 1, we're going to recap the week. So lots to change. But remember, it's week 1. It's week 1. It's week 1. Nothing, no overreactions over here. It's just week 1. It's a long season ahead of us. One of the most fun pods we do all year. We laid out on all our predictions and our hot takes. And I'm sure there's many more hot takes to come. But with that being said, this is the BB-Scho. I'm Beebs. My co-host Chen. Catch you next time.
Peace out.